remember to love. I was blessed with a mentor whose last words to me were, remember to love. Those 3 words saved my life. On my 25th birthday, I decided that I was going to celebrate with a decadent bubble bath. So I displayed the roses, I lit the candles, I popped the champagne, and I poured myself a glass. I leaned back in the tub to enjoy my gift to myself, and I felt totally empty. I looked over at the bathroom sink and I saw bottles and bottles of prescription medications lined up in a row. I had experienced childhood sexual abuse and struggled with depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, and panic attacks most of my life. I had read hundreds of books and seen dozens of therapists. I tried EMDR, DBT, CBT, ACT, ECT, and a whole bunch of other therapies that involve a mouthful of initials. I cried, imagined waterfalls, punched pillows, challenged my thoughts, and drew pictures. In a desperate attempt to heal myself, I dove into university to study psychology, and eventually I ended up a registered psychologist. I devoted myself to mastering those techniques that were once used on me in hopes that I might find a way out of my suffering and help others find their way out too. A week after my birthday bubble bath, I met Larry, my mentor. Larry was a kind man with silver hair and watery blue eyes. Larry had been helping people for 30 years, and he wanted to help me. Larry believed that love was the answer I was looking for. And with his guidance, I slowly began to recover from the struggles that had cast such a dark shadow on my life. And once I found my own way out of the darkness, I began working as a therapist. And I would often consult with Larry about my clients. And he would tell me, it's love that heals. We do our best work when we remember to love. One of my first clients was a very successful older gentleman who was struggling with depression. He had broad shoulders and carried a shiny black briefcase. In our first session, he assertively informed me that he had seen 5 other therapists, and none of them were able to help him. I was completely intimidated. I thought, if 5 other therapists aren't able to help this man, what could I possibly offer? So of course I called Larry. A few days later, I was sitting across from Larry looking into those watery blue eyes, and I explained my case to him. Larry asked what I thought I should do, so I started spouting off those theories and techniques, DBT, CBT, ACT, and he stopped me, shaking his head. He said, it's love that heals. We do our best work when we remember to love. What is the most loving thing you could do for him? I replied, give him a hug. So the next time I saw my client, I asked him if he would like a hug. And his eyes watered. Those strong shoulders slumped. And he sighed, yes. I gave him a hug, and he whispered, it's been a long time since someone has hugged these old bones. His wife had died 5 years earlier, and he hadn't been able to talk about it with anyone. His healing began with love. The next time I saw Larry, I explained what had transpired with my hugging client, and he said, of all the things there are to learn in the field of psychology, theory, statistics, research, philosophy, what could be more important than how to love? It's time for you to stop chasing credentials and start finding the freedom to love your clients unconditionally. Now, when Larry shared this with me, I had my doubts. I was pretty attached to my credentials and my techniques. I needed to know what the research said. So I dove into the research, and I found stacks of evidence to confirm what Larry was teaching me. In fact, as little as 1% of positive change in therapy is because of technique. What the research says is responsible for the majority of positive change in therapy are called non-specific factors. These include empathy, openness, warmth, trust, respect, non-judgment, genuineness. These factors can be combined into one essential factor: unconditional platonic love. This means we must go beyond techniques in therapy. If we are to support the healing of our clients, we must remember to love. The last time I saw Larry, he was laying in his hospital bed. He looked up at me with those watery blue eyes. Those once rosy cheeks were pale. He held my hand and pulled me close. I could feel the warmth of his breath on my cheek as he whispered, "Remember to love." I want to live in a world where the foundation of therapy is love. A world where all helping professionals teach their clients about the healing power of love by demonstrating it daily. As we give our clients the gift of love, they are better able to give that gift to their children, friends, partners, and communities. This is how global change happens. As we know, Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, said, "The salvation of man is through love and in love." I think Larry would agree. Now, I know that many of you are not therapists, but if you're like me, you've had a few. And if you're in therapy, I encourage you to remember that success in therapy has more to do with your relationship with your therapist than with the techniques your therapist is trained to perform. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Whom we wish to change, we must first love." If you are a helping professional, I invite you to ask yourself, how can I bring more unconditional platonic love into my therapeutic relationships? And if you're one of those rare, well-adjusted people that have never needed a therapist, anyone out there? Okay. I encourage you to bring more unconditional love into your relationship with yourself and others. You will grow even stronger and become a catalyst for others' healing at the same time. We are all in this together. In order to bring healing to our world, we must remember to love. Thank you.